Alright. Hey everybody, this is Mick here from Nocturne Productions. I am sitting with a man who has walked amongst the gaming gods, who has basically pretty much, how can I put it?
Well, I went to the what I consider the gaming mecca. It was fantastic to get there. I very much enjoyed being over there and found that the gaming gods are indeed very much down to earth people.
And they are located in Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Yes, yeah. Well,
very much.
They gather there once a year in March for something called GaryCon, which I was very fortunate to attend in 2016 to honour the memory of Gary Gygax, who was one of the creators of Dungeons & Dragons, the phenomenon that is Dungeons & Dragons.
Yes, and we forgot to introduce you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Heath Farnden. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. Yeah, that's proof. That's proof. Because once this gets posted up, I can say I got the guy. I got my guest name right. You don't have to accuse me of anything. So, what have you thought about this year's Concentric Games?
I very much enjoy that we have a continuously growing gaming community here in South Australia. Each year it seems to be better and bigger. We hit capacity for our numbers earlier this year than we did last year, and we've got a growing wait list that tells us we need to look at either organising more space or a bigger location or something like that. Each year it feels like more and more people are having fun gathering and having, playing games.
Oh, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter whether it's a tabletop game in the sense of Dungeons & Dragons or Pathfinder or Starfinder, or we have people playing Star Trek and Star Wars over there. Warhammer.
Yep. Both versions, Warhammer 40k and Warhammer Age of Sigmar.
Yep. War Machine in the miniature section. We have War Machine and Malifaux. I don't think Malifaux was here this year.
What about Hordes?
Yes, I did see Hordes in there.
Hordes in there, yep.
We've got a board game section out here that we're sitting in the auditorium for. And board games, card games, dice games, miniatures, like we've said before. It's so good to see people just coming together for the fun of the game.
Absolutely.
Which is brilliant. And that's what Concentric is for.
And it's good to see people that have that one interest coming together, socializing, and just playing games.
And pretty much that's like stemming back to Gary Gygax and Lake Geneva in the early 1970s. That's pretty much what he did. And I'm paraphrasing a writer, Michael Whitwer. Whitwer wrote Empire of Imagination, and he summed it up quite nicely that Gary took himself, who used to be in insurance and was doing boot cobbling part-time, his kids and a couple of school kids, a mate that was an accountant. These people that in a normal walk of life may or may not have had common interest, and he found something that they could have as common interest, and that was gaming.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's brilliant. Like it really does bring together people of different walks of life. It's the ultimate inclusive, fun activity.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I think he wanted to do.
Oh yeah. I remember the first time watching the documentary Dungeons & Dragons Experience. You can check it out on YouTube as well. I remember the documentary coming out when Gary Gygax, Dave Arneson, who else was in that little group when they first founded Dungeons & Dragons?
There was Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. Now Dave, there is, and this is where we get really funny. And I don't want to say what I'm saying is absolute gospel. There are many sides. As there are many sides to dice, there are many sides to stories. I like to believe that Dave and Gary independently came up with a few ideas. met at a Wargaming Society meeting in Lake Geneva, bantered, bounced ideas, and both came to the conclusion that this could be more.
Yeah.
And I think Gary wanted to make it more. Dave, I think, was happy with what he had, but I think it was a partnership. And again, I don't want to say hand on my heart. This is my understanding, my interpretation. And for essentially, it was gamers with the love of the game, trying to make something for everyone. Now, there was falling outs between them, that's no secret. Later on with Gary with TSR, there was falling outs with other things. And again, there are many stories to that, and I don't want to speculate because I simply wasn't there, but I believe the ideology of the game exists back in that format and the current format of having fun together.
Yeah.
I think that is the underlying linchpin of gaming, is having fun together. And unfortunately, through the history of especially D&D, there have been misunderstandings is the wrong word. There have been...
There's the politics behind it.
Yeah, and I just... It's sad. It's sad, and it's happened with not just D&D and other games. There's always tales of creative differences. It's just one of those things where, unfortunately, it does get a little political, and things don't go according to plan.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but my underlying thing of any sort of game that you play is have fun and forget the rest.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's one of the things where when Gary started to solidify the rules, the aim was the enjoyment of the player. A lot of people get hung up in the rules of a game. It's like the DM, GM, narrator, storyteller, whoever it is, they've got the power to veto a rule if they think it's going to impact upon the fun of the game.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
And that, I think some people forget. I think people forget that it's about the fun of the game. Yeah, there are rules and guidelines to govern the way it works. So you can't just sort of you can actually go willy-nilly in game, but there must be some underlying things for people to at least build upon before they disregard.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now, your experiences with Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Let's talk about that. What was your very first experience?
Okay, so to precede that Dungeons & Dragons, you've got to go back to a choose-your-own-adventure book called Lone Wolf, and that was written by the late, great Joe Deaver, who was himself inspired by Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. In fact, in 1982, he went to LA for the championship and became the first British player to win the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons championship.
And there was a tournament there?
There was.
I did not expect that. I did not expect that at all.
I'm a massive Lone Wolf fan, so these facts are at my fingertips. Joe wrote Magnamund to be an AD&D campaign setting. In fact, it wasn't always it wasn't always as a game book, and he had a friendship with Steve Jackson and Ian Livingstone, who started Games Workshop.
Yep, and also started the Fighting Fantasy books.
Indeed. And so he wanted to explore a few things and ended up going with his own independent game book. And he originally had that published by Sparrow Books, then Beaver Books, and then Red Fox or Red Arrow, depending on where you came into it. And it was under that Red Fox that I picked up in 1991, my first book, and was instantly like I was in. And I collected all them and read them. And that was in primary school. When I hit high school, some friends of mine had an older brother who used to play Dungeons and Dragons. So I went along and I played a few games with them, and I thought, this is pretty cool. They then switched systems because I'd kind of got bored with it for Rifts. Now, Rifts is a funny game setting. I love the setting. The mechanics I don't totally agree with, and that's my opinion as a player, but the setting was a rich setting, and sorry, just a second. Sorry. That's all good. Still trying to help run this convention. they swapped and I got into that. And then when I came down here to Adelaide in '97, I got back into D&D through a friend, and it was Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, complete with what people consider the horrible THACO, which THACO was to hit armor class 0.
Oh.
And this was the combat system preceding second ed and third ed and 3.5 and that sort of thing. And basically you rolled a dice to then look at what and you did a calculation and you sort of come up with whether you could hit the guy's armor.
Oh, okay.
So, and so people liked it, people don't like it, and I think that's why they changed up a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
But that was where I got into it, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, and I loved it. Oh. And it was fantastic.
I remember the first, my experience with Dungeons and Dragons wasn't with tabletop games at first. It was actually with the electronic games, particularly with the Neverwinter Nights series.
Yeah.
I went to an old cash converters. No, not cash converters. Game Traders.
Right.
Game Traders, and they had the full. What was it? The full edition, downloadable, like the full expansion packs.
Yep.
They had. Oh, I can remember them all, but I had Neverwinter Nights Platinum, which basically had everything in it. Yep. Played it. I loved it. Unfortunately, I was living in the up in the hills, so there was really nothing to do in there.
Hey,
So,
I grew up in the Northern Territory. I hear you there, man.
okay.
That's probably why I got into the game. And that's why I got into the Lone Wolf game books and D&D, because I was an outdoorsy kid, but I wasn't a sportsy kid.
Yeah.
So climbing trees, fine. Playing forts, playing knights, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I always had that imagination as well.
Yeah,
so.
kicking a football and playing soccer, I wasn't totally coordinated for that.
Yeah.
But I had fun doing it. I found more fun in books and playing games like that, both like climbing trees and that sort of thing, and monos and books sort of thing. So I didn't get into Neverwinter Nights. I was into stuff before that with TSR, did with SSI, with Curse of the Azure Bonds, Secret of the Silver Blades, Gateway to the Savage Frontier, and that was all AD&D based games, and that was all very 8-bit pixelated sort of stuff. That was a lot of fun. And then Neverwinter came out there, and I didn't really get into that too much. I sort of went back to books and other things with that. I think probably because the family computer wasn't powerful enough to cope with what was needed.
Oh yeah. I remember. I still remember. I do remember Dungeons. I still remember I do remember Dungeons and Dragons. Like it was for that time very much. It was actually like a book series.
I think it was an earthquake then.
Yes, I know.
the phone.
Ignore that, folks. Ignore that, folks.
It's all good.
Yeah. I finally got. I actually decided. I realised that there was a 5th edition that had come out. When I realised the 5th edition had come out, I decided, you know what? I'm just going to get the books, get into it, and it's actually, it's now for me a lot of fun. So I'm now a part of a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, homebrew. Even though I'm actually on the verge of I'm actually going to be starting my own little campaign myself. So that's all good.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with homebrew. Like buying the products that come out is fantastic.
Yeah.
But there's nothing like the homebrew is cornerstone of every kid's imagination.
I actually remember Raymond E. Weiss did a homebrew version of a campaign. That's how he got started as an author when he was in university doing his telecommunications degree. He had his group of friends. He did his world of Mick Kamer, which later became the Rift War saga, the other wars that came across. And then you got who was it? Another fan of Dungeons and Dragons was Joe Manganiello. Have you heard of him?
Yes.
Yep. Magic Mike, Spider-Man.
Yep. He often is on. I'm trying to remember, is it Critical Role or I got a mate who. Yeah, cheers. This is why I wear my very cool GaryCon Hawaiian shirt, because as part of the convention staff, it's best that we can be identified by these luminescent, reflective high-vis things.
Yeah.
And our lovely convention coordinator and organizer Ben said, "You've got a luminescent Hawaiian shirt. You don't need one of these vests." And I then lent mine to one of the guys running a game to hide a table leg that was tripping people over.
I'm not sure where they've gone. Ben will be back in just a moment. Jill is walking around the
Sorry.
That's all right.
I think that's Matt sitting there playing a game, just the first guy, the long dark hair. If you check with him, I think he may know where Jill is. Cheers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's all right. That's
Still
all right.
helping.
Yes. Yes. Now,
Sorry.
your defining moment.
In going to GaryCon and being a lover of the history of the game and as well as playing the game, I've got a nice little library of vintage game books. Rather than pull them all out and rustle and go through them all out, I just thought I'd bring one out and show you. And this is Chainmail.
This is the predecessor.
This is the predecessor for Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
This was written by Gary Gygax and Jeff Perrin. And they were both members of the Lake Geneva Wargaming Society. In fact, Gen Con, as big as it is, takes the name. It was started by Gary in Lake Geneva, and Gen Con is simply short for Lake Geneva Wargaming, or just Gaming Convention. So Gen Con. Yeah, this is Chainmail. And this is the precursor to Dungeons and Dragons.
And open it. This is the exciting part.
In the back of it here, it has like a little fantasy supplement, and that's what went on to become Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, yeah.
The rest of it here is like medieval miniature, so you can use your lead miniatures to. It's funny how D&D is going back to using miniatures when it actually derived from battle, working out battle for miniatures.
Wargaming.
Exactly. And this one, as a few of my vintage ones, I've actually managed to get some of the great guys that were there to sign this. So I've got, let's see, Jim Ward, Jeff Perrin, Ernie Gygax.
Yep, his son.
Who's here? Tim Kask, who was the editor for Dragon Magazine. He was an editor at TSR. He was the editor for Dragon Magazine from issues 1 through to 39.
Wow.
And down here, Frank Menzer, who was who wrote the red box for Gary. Once they got away from what we call OD&D into the red box, he was the driving force for that. And it was very cool to meet them all over there, to mingle with them. I played in a game run by Luke Gygax. That was pretty cool. It was, and they are, and I can't stress this enough. They are down to earth people. The guys and the girls of the TSR alumni are fantastic, and their cool candor about who they were and what they did and what GaryCon is something that is very reminiscent of the early Gen Con.
Yep.
And is something that we like, that I hope that Concentric aspires to, and I can see that happening without.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you said yourself, the numbers just got the numbers. And all the tickets are sold out.
Yeah, so I think our ticketing sort of taps out about 2:30, 2:40, allowing tickets for convention helpers, vendors, and GMs, because we've introduced that if you run a game, you get a GM's ticket. I can't remember off the top of my head whether that's free or at a heavily discounted, because they're putting in the effort to run a game. We don't expect them to pay full.
Oh, absolutely.
And so and we had tickets sell out faster this year than we did the year before, which was always good to see.
Oh, absolutely. Now, your trip to GaryCon.
Yes.
Let's talk about that. You went over to, like, you live in Wisconsin.
I did. I appreciate the older editions of D&D. I appreciate the historical value of some of those earlier editions, like Chainmail. And I appreciate that the guys who were there in the creation point are not those that are involved in its current its current edition, its current format, its current direction, and that's not a bad thing. I think the guys at WotC have got a vision, and they're trying to stay true to Gary's principle of fun play.
Oh, absolutely.
So to go over there, what I did was obviously to fly to LA, to fly to Chicago, and then to get to Lake Geneva in Wisconsin's not a cheap thing.
No.
I do a bit of photography. I had someone say, you should go over and do the photography for GaryCon, because I joked about, hey, they need a proper photographer. A couple of the guys put up a lot of photos, and that was fantastic. And being a photographer, oh, that one's out of focus. And someone said, you should go and do it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to afford that. And then I had someone say, do a GoFundMe.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, yeah, no, I can't ask people for cash. That's not cool.
Yeah.
If I can't get over there, I just don't go. And they're like, no. People will give you cash for this because it's a cool thing. So I sort of rolled around my head for a bit. I went, all right, we'll give it a try. I wrote up a thing explaining pretty much what we've spoken about.
Yes. The only place where geeks and nerds are welcome, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
Well, no, geeks and nerds are welcome everywhere, but the true mecca where you're amongst your own sort of thing is there. And I put it up, and I put a thing about what, blah blah, etc. What we've spoken about, and lo and behold, I had people give me close to $2,000 towards flight and accommodation over there.
Wow!
And that, I've got to say, is probably one of the top 5 most humbling moments of my life. The people, they were friends and family, but they were also complete strangers or friends that I'd made via Facebook that went, this is very cool, here's some cash, get your backside over here.
Yep.
And it was incredibly humbling. Now, I originally priced out everything. Return flights to LA were $1,800.
Yep.
Flights from LA to Chicago were going to be $600. And this was all return. Accommodation there for the convention is going to be like $400 or $500. Accommodation before and after the convention, because I went for a total of 2 weeks knowing that I'd have jet lag to get over there and jet lag to get back. And so, there's accommodation, and then there's food and all that sort of thing. And I put a very conservative budget of 5,000 Australian. Well, I had people say, don't get a room, come crash with me.
Wow.
So that dropped pricing incredibly. Qantas had a G'day USA sale, and return to LA from Adelaide dropped from $1,800 to $1,100. So I jumped on that. Then I found some cheaper flights from LA to Chicago to line up with that flight, so the return dropped to $300 of that. A really, really lovely lady that I'm friends with in the US said, don't fly from Chicago to Wisconsin to Milwaukee. I will come and get you. I will drive a 2 hour return trip to pick you up and take you to Lake Geneva. I'm like, are you sure? She said yes. I'm like, awesome. That saved me flight. That saved me getting from Milwaukee to Lake Geneva. So that was brilliant. And then I was trying to organise accommodation for before and after. And then I had another massively humbling moment where Ernie Gygax, Gary Gygax's son, Ernest Gary Gygax Jr. himself went, come stay with me.
Yes.
And it was like, wow, these people are awesome. So I was able to do this trip pretty much on the $2,000 that people had given me in the GoFundMe. and people it was almost like a weird sort of cult of let's get this Aussie over sort of thing. And I was getting hugs from people that I were friends on Facebook or I chatted on Facebook going, and they were saying, we are so glad you made it.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just a massive humbling and wow moment for me.
Wow.
And I've still got people going, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? I'm like, I can't make it. No excuse. When are you coming back?
Oh, wow.
So yeah, I've got my gaming page, the Antipodean D20.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out.
Right, there's the Facebook address there. The Antipodean D20. I've done a deal with Fat Dragon Games in the US to print on a 3D printer and sell, because I've got a 3D printer now, sell their miniatures and terrain. And Tom's told me I've got to try and use some of the money to get myself back over there. So I'm hoping that will work. It was very early days for that.
Yeah.
I haven't even
Still
worked
early
out,
days,
I
but
still haven't
check it
worked
out.
Price guides and that yet, but that's what I'm looking at.
Oh, that is
But
great.
It was 10 days of just wow. I got to meet the family that now own 330 Centre Street in Lake Geneva, where Gary lived and his family lived when he was developing Dungeons & Dragons.
Oh, wow.
I got to go to their house. I didn't go upstairs for some privacy reasons, but I got to be in their ground floor area where Gary had one of the rooms as his office. And I got to go into the basement where they originally had the original sand table set up for playing chainmail with miniatures, where they put sand in it, smooth it over, and put all the terrain and flocking down. I did say flocking, and they'd play the miniatures. And I got to go there, and it was just a really big wow moment for me, and it was fantastic. And I love to tell the story if people ask.
Oh, that is brilliant.
It was one of those moments in your life as a gamer you just went, that was awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
I definitely want to get back to it.
Oh, yeah.
But if I never do, I'll be happy with it that I've gone there
absolutely.
once. Gary Con, their 10th year anniversary. Gary Con started out of the wake of Gary's funeral. All the TSR guys came along. Luke gave a beautiful eulogy, and they went to the Legionnaires Hall after the thing to play some games, because Luke and Ernie both said Dad would love this if we played some of his games. So they did that, and at the end of the week they played one day, then they played the next day, and then played the next day, and at the end of the Sunday, someone said, we should really do this.
Oh, okay.
And so that was kind of Gary Con 0, I think.
Yeah.
And then next year, Luke organised it, and I think they did it in the Horticultural Hall, and they had 150 people there.
And then it just grew and grew and grew.
And they've jumped a couple of hotels and resorts to bigger premises.
Now it's like 2,000.
2,000 people or thereabouts came this year, and it was the 10th anniversary. So Gary passed away on the 4th. Oh, hang on. I should know this. On the 4th of March.
Oh, okay. I think it was the 1909.
No, in 2008.
Oh, 2008
was the year. It was March. I should know this. No, it was the 6th of March. Oh hell, I'm having a complete mind blank. This weekend has killed me. But this year was the 10th anniversary of Gary's passing, and it was Gary Con 10. I really wanted to get over this year, but I couldn't. So next year I'm hoping to get there for Gary Con 11. And they do it each year. I think it's a perfect living memorial to the man who brought so much joy to so many people.
Wow, that is huge. Yeah. That is massive.
And I think we're trying to emulate that homage here, and we're trying to emulate that fun game.
I think I agree with you. I agree with you. I mean, we've got actual we've actually got businesses who are willing to put in the whole 9 yards. We've got now. I think one of the guys that's in there, I think Bannister. He's a professional DM.
Yep.
Yep, he's professional.
We've had game designers here. We had Kim from Good Games here, showcasing a Kickstarter at the moment for a game he's made.
Yes.
Or been part of the production team.
Bloody
for.
Quest, I think it was.
No, not Bloody Quest. Guildmaster.
Guildmaster,
Yeah.
that's the one.
Yeah, Bloody Quest is a different one that
Yep.
a local game designer makes.
Yep. I think I did an on-play interview with him. Check him out.
Yep. There's been a lot of.
I'm absolutely pooped from doing the campaign, the tier 2 campaign.
That's Tony Peterson.
That's the one, Tony Pedersen. Yeah, check him out. I did an on-play interview with him. It's pretty good. I've seen the early designs. Have a look. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, that's pretty much the case.
I think we've
pretty much covered
for
everything.
sitting down for 5 to 6 minutes. It's just took over half an hour. I'm known for being quiet, not.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely pooped. But I think we're both pooped.
Very much so. Cool. Well, thank you for having me on.
Yes, thank you for granting this vlog.
No worries.
Check Heath out at Antipodean D20. Check out his Facebook. I've seen his work. Actually, we've got some of your stuff right here.
Well, this is stuff from Fat Dragon Games. This is part of their Dragon Lock terrain and miniatures. This is Orcus. This is Orcus. This is one that I printed and a mate stuck together and painted.
Yep.
It's very, very mean, very cool.
Yes, indeed. And you can find it at Antipodean D20.
Very soon you'll find it, and
Yes. There it is. Antipodean D20. Heath Farnden, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much for
And
having
we
me
are
on.
finally done. 31 minutes. Yikes.
You said 5 minutes.
But we managed to cover everything. Thank you very much.
No problem.
It was a good time talking with you. This is
We won't fire back up, but I'll show you one last thing. I have with me one of my dice that I had made up for the trip. It's very dirty. You can't really see my logo on there too well, but this dice has sat on the grave marker in the cemetery because Gary was cremated and the ashes, we're not quite sure where the ashes are, but there's a grave marker in the cemetery, Lake Geneva, and this is sat on that grave marker. I didn't drop it on that grave marker, and then in the middle of Lake Geneva by a water fountain, there is a marker that the family and fans paid for in the memory of Gary, and this is sat on that as well.
wow.
So that goes with me everywhere in my little coin bag here as a good luck charm.
Oh, absolutely. And we are done.
Done.
We are done. Thank you very
Press
much.
stop now before I
Yes.
keep talking.
Yeah, and I'm going to run out of
Nice.
memory if I do.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much, Heath.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is Mick here from Nutjob Productions signing off.